Hello and welcome to InspiHER'd, your grown-up girl talk. I'm Stacey Fleece with co-host Samantha Tredelius in another pouring down rain day. Winter is back.
Winter is
Winter
here.
keeps leaving and returning. It's snowing in the mountains. Like there's chain controls in Tahoe. What is happening? It's going to
Listen,
be May in like a week.
I don't know what's going on, but I do know this. I do know that another day where we get to sit across each other on the computer screen and be joined with another powerhouse gal is another day that I can get behind.
I know. I'm actually super excited because we have with us today Emily Perez, who is owner, CEO,
Boss babe.
COO of of all things of Aldila Salon in Novato, California. Emily, how are you?
Hello.
Thank
Hi,
you for being
ladies.
here. Thank you for
Yes.
taking the time away from your business and your clients and spending 30 minutes with us because I think what you've done in growing your business is really useful information for a lot of other women out there. So appreciate your willingness to share.
I have to say something before we get started, just a little
Yeah.
disclaimer for our listeners. Emily is one of our ride or dies, okay? Emily's on the private group chat with the inappropriate TikToks at 3 a.m. So what
Correct.
comes out today, I can't be responsible for anything moving forward from this point.
Oh, ladies, I'm so honored and thank you for inviting me to be on your podcast.
And I do have to say that I had to put a little more thought into my hair, even though I know it doesn't look like it, because when
Oh,
I'm
you
sitting with
do.
you for a half hour, I can't come with a scrunchy bun on top of my head, which I have been known to record with in
Oh,
the
you're a
past.
blonde
So
beauty, Stacey.
This is
Your
true.
hair
so
looks great. It
we
looks
had to
beautiful.
actually do it. But you've been in the business of hair basically your entire life. You grew up in hanging around in your grandfather's salon in North Beach. Tell us a little bit about that, way back in the day, how that came to be.
Well, my grandfather's my best friend growing up. I'm the oldest grandchild of 20 something grandchildren.
20
Uncles.
something in your family.
Yes, and there's only a few girls, so I'm one of the only girls.
Dang.
So I loved hanging out in my grandfather's beauty shop. He did women's hair in North Beach for 63 years. And I worked in his shop as well. I worked there part-time for about 11 years. So that was a lot of fun.
Just the things you would see, I bet, and
I
just
know, old
like to be
school
a
San
fly on the wall.
Francisco. Old
Oh,
school
the
San
things that I
Francisco.
would see and the things that I got to eat because his beauty shop was an Italian-based beauty shop. So there was always so much good food. All the women used to bring in food. You would never be, don't come on a full belly to the
Yeah.
beauty shop back in the day.
Well, and even nowadays, because I do spend quite a bit of time in your salon and we are always eating something. Um,
Yes.
so the part that I love the most about you, and I really want to deep dive this because as a business person and as a person who had a dream and a vision and has now made that come to life. Like because I know there's so many people out there that maybe are sitting on the edge of something going, gosh, I wish I could open up my own business or I wish I could do this thing. And what I love the most about you is that you were in that seat and then you were like, I'm going to do this and
Yeah,
did it, you went.
I
And
did. I
so, yeah, let's get into it.
sorry.
Like working in a salon for years and then deciding to open up your own salon in these last few years. Let's talk about that.
Well,
Well,
let's go back all the way. You got licensed in 2000. You've been
yes.
doing this for 26 years. So this is not like I started doing hair and then 18 months later I'm like, "Cool, let me open my own salon." Like
No.
this has been a real life gift for you.
It's been a
So
real
talk
passion.
about the career path from when you got licensed and launched from North Beach.
Well, I decided back in the late 90s that I was envious of my grandfather's lifestyle. He raised six kids as a hairstylist with my grandmother, who was a private school history teacher, seventh grade history teacher in San Francisco. I saw that enjoyed his time at work and was happy and had fun and made good money and was there for his kids. I also had a role model. Her name's Joyce Salam, a friend of mine's mom, who's a single mom and a hairstylist, and I loved growing up in her house. And she set an example for me, truly, of the lifestyle that I wanted. And here I am, all these years later. I was a rental hairstylist for most of my career,
Okay,
and
what
then
does that mean? What is
a
for
rental
the uninitiated, what
hairstylist.
does that mean?
Okay, so you rent your station, and that is your business within a salon. So you could be a commission hairstylist where you get paid hourly, or however that salon pays you, um, or you could own your own salon like I do now.
So not everybody working in a salon works for the owner of the salon.
Correct. Like the women that work for me in my salon don't truly work for me. They work for themselves.
And is that
Got
the
it.
norm, like for most salons, or is it like a 50-50 split, or are more salons rent a chair type situation?
You know, it's I'm not sure. I think that it's kind of 50-50 out there. I personally would not want to work in a commission salon. I don't want to ask somebody when I can take time off.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
because you get to be your own boss, which
yeah.
is good.
So as you got into this industry, this is I mean, let's admit this is a very crowded industry. There's a lot of people that do this for a living. It's very word of mouth in terms of growth, I think. So how did you get started? How did you start building your client base?
Oh, that's a great question, Stacey. Thank you. I built my client base by having good work ethic, showing up every day, showing up early, staying late, um, not taking days off. I, at one point, was working 7 days a week in my early 20s, just building my clientele. I was just always available and always there, you
Never
know?
wanted to say no.
Never wanted to say no. And I had the time, you know? My life is different now, and I've earned the position that I'm in. I've put in the hard work.
You and I
And
talk about a lot of our youth and building business, and I have shared many stories with you and you me about like how everyone would be going out on a Friday night
yeah,
and we would be at home because we had to go to work in the morning, right? On a
yeah,
Saturday.
to go to work in the morning. Yeah. A little story in my early 20s, I was having a lot of redos on Saturday mornings. A lot of clients that I was doing their hair on Saturday mornings were calling me, or on Saturdays calling me and telling me that they didn't like their hair back in the day, when I was first starting out. And I realized it's because I was going out on Friday nights and was hungover on a Saturday morning.
It's
So
not going to
I,
be good.
This seems
yeah, I,
like this, yeah, this is you would fit right in with the Washington, D.C. administration right now.
right.
Listen,
So I quickly made that rule for myself. I didn't go out on Friday nights, and I held to that, and it was definitely a good move for myself. You just have to set boundaries, set rules, better yourself.
so
Because
COVID
because
happens and you are like the rest of us at home, obviously being in the service business of, touching people, that was like not happening. And so you kind of had a forced pause, which I think was a really good catalyst for you to, when you reemerged, decide to open up this salon that you have now. That's celebrating, is it its third year, second year?
we will be 3 years old in September.
Soon, soon. So making that decision to like open up your own shop, like, I mean, I know you enough well, very well, and that's not a decision that you would make lightly or something that wasn't very thought through and intentional. So, like, walk us through some of that process.
Well, COVID hit. I was in Paris when COVID hit. I came home by the skin with my husband. We came home by the skin of our teeth to have the whole world shutting down, to not go back to work for, oh my gosh, like 2.5 years. So I had a lot of time to think about it. And when I was remerging and hairdressers were coming back out, I decided to completely reinvent this next chapter of my career and create a place in Novato that all women were welcome to, because I didn't really feel like we had something like that.
I love any conversation where we can work the word catalyst into it. So I feel like we've already won the day, even though we're not even halfway through this
Yeah, I
podcast.
agree. I
So
agree.
I do
Yeah.
appreciate that. What were, Emily, the biggest stressors when you considered doing this and then decided this is what I'm going to do? Because now you're going from somebody who's renting a chair from somebody else who's sort of carrying the weight of the physical location, and now it's going to be on you. Like what kind of where were your big concerns? Where were the big stressors for you in that?
You know, Stacey, I was so ambitious with the whole thing that I wasn't stressed out. I fully felt like there was no way I wasn't going to be successful at this.
So ignorance is bliss.
I thought to myself, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna surround myself with great women and there's no way I'm gonna fail. And I think it's going pretty well. And I have really good support at home. So that really helps too.
Well, the one thing that you didn't take into consideration was the lovely city of Novato. And I
Oh,
think any city is the same, whether I don't care where you are, going through the permit process and the building and
yeah.
getting all these things. I mean, I know that was like a huge, stressor because it's like you can't open your doors until you check all these boxes. And there was a lot of red tape, if you will.
An unbelievable amount of red tape. It took 2.5 years to open up my 500 square foot salon
So
in
dumb.
downtown Novato. It was unreal. But
It should not be that hard.
no, it should not be that hard. And I'm fortunate that I was able to go through that process and still open up my business.
Because like
So,
what about what if that you mean you were in a situation where you had some other things coming in and going on, but like if you were waiting for this
oh,
business
I would have lost everything.
you would have been like,
I would
yeah.
not have been able to open up my business. I would have lost it all. It would not have been good. So I'm fortunate in that. But it's interesting how timing works out because during that time I got to be a yard duty while I was opening up my salon, which is secretly like my favorite job I've ever had.
Really?
Yes, I loved that job
Do you have a
so
vest?
much.
Did you have an outfit?
I wore a vest and I had a whistle and I wore my 49ers hat
It's kind of a
and
power
I
play. Kind of a power.
I loved it. It was so
Right,
much
it's
fun.
a power play over children.
It doesn't matter. It's like the guy that's working the bouncer at the club and
I
like in
was
his
not a
real life.
snitch.
Did you have
Yeah,
a
I was.
velvet rope? Did
Yeah,
you have a velvet rope they had to line up behind before you
You
let
were
them back
not a
in?
snitch. You were not a
I was
snitch.
not. Nobody went to the office on my clock. Like we were working things out on the yard, like the old days. Everybody, we was making kids chat, talk, work it out, make eye contact. It was a fun job.
Well, listen, city leaders of Novato and really of any town in America, don't make it so hard for businesses to open up. Good Lord.
Hmm.
You what was important to you when you thought about location? Like because you're a physical business, right?
Right. Yeah.
And location is a big deal. So what was
Yeah.
important to you to look for in that arena?
I I wanted a building that was easy to access. So like that you could just walk right in. I didn't want a bunch of stairs. I wanted to be centrally located in the heart of downtown Novato. So my daughter could be accessible to me much easier. I have a 14-year-old. Um, the side that I chose is definitely the fun side. We have the farmers market that takes place in front of us. So we are in the community, and I love that. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's so fun and it's such a great space. One of the things that I think we all speak to, and probably why our stars all aligned, is bringing women together in different capacities and having space created for women. So your salon, one of the tenets of like your focus has always been like creating a space where people can come in and feel okay and safe and not in like a weird way, but like just in a place of belonging. Like, in the old days, like you went to the salon and you had a place to go and visit with other women and have this sense of community. And so I think for anybody that's ever been in your place, they can really feel that. And I think it's a very cool, like a lot of places aren't doing that. It's just kind of a churn and burn, and yours is more of like a come in, hang out,
Yes.
have a Diet
Yes.
Coke.
Have a cookie. I've made chocolate chip
Have
cookies.
a
Come on
cookie,
in.
and there's always something to chat about, right? Whether we're talking about the greatest new show or, what's going on in our world. I mean, it's just it's a community space, and I think it's really
Well,
cool.
We're a four-station salon where so much cross conversation takes place. I've watched women make friends. Somebody has gotten a job offering in the salon.
Come on. That's actually
Yes,
really cool.
yes, people have been. It's a nice place for women to come together. Something that was important for me in my salon is I wanted the salon to be for all types of women and all types of hair types, and we've accomplished that. We have a stylist for everybody now, someone who specializes in curly hair, haircuts, whimsical hair extensions like myself and hair color. We do ethnic hair. We have the stylist for all ladies. And that was most important to me, to be honest.
You have said that this career has grown with you in every chapter of your life.
That's
Mm.
my
What
saying.
what
I
did you
have
mean?
said
Explain that a little bit. What do you mean by
I,
that?
I have been saying that phrase my entire career. Well,
Well, let's
yeah.
expand.
Well, like in my early 20s, I worked 7 days a week. I had the time to build and the ambition. And, I get married and have a child. And now this job couldn't be more mommy friendly. Not only am I a mom, but I'm working with a bunch of moms. It's couldn't be more supportive. Now I'm a working mom, and now I have other working moms. And this job, the hours, it just changes and it evolves with me, and I've appreciated that. It's never gotten boring.
So they say out on the streets, Emily, you never work harder for yourself than you do, well, you never work for someone else as hard as you do when you work for yourself, right?
Is that what they say? That's what they say on the
Word out
street?
there on the
Oh,
streets,
The
ladies, because
streets
I'm
of
walking them.
the streets of Oakland, the streets of Antioch. Okay.
You know what? The streets of Marin. Actually,
Yeah.
just the streets
The
of life.
mean streets of Marin.
The streets of life.
the
But it
mean
is true.
streets of Novato.
Yeah. I mean, because I could speak to that because I have always been self-employed and I have always worked, either for my family or myself. And I can tell you that it is true. And so, what do you say to somebody that's like sitting on this edge of the seat going like, could I do this, or should I keep working for somebody else? Like, because I know you were there at one point in your life. Like, what do you say to her?
I say go for it. I
Fucking
say
do
go
it.
for it. Just fucking go for it. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I when I decided to have the salon, I didn't even have the money to open it. I hadn't been working. I had COVID. I had to come up with everything from the beginning. And I had support in that and help, but I had to find it. And I just say go for it, believe in yourself. In this industry, it's what I can speak for, is the only promotions you get are the ones that you give yourself. So this career will not grow with you if you don't give yourself promotions. And I felt like it was time for a promotion, you know, like why not? If I'm coming back, I might as well come back with a bang
Yeah.
and
I
open
love
up my own
that.
salon.
Give yourself a promotion, give yourself a raise,
Yeah.
give yourself the grace to know that you can do what you set out to do.
Yeah. And
Um,
But like
Amazing
so many
advice.
women, I don't care what business you're in, like or where, like so many women like lack that moment, right? Or they get so beat down and then they're finally like, maybe they have the aha moment. I mean, we've talked to hundreds of them, Stacey, how they have these pivot moments in their life and it's like, you know, I wish there was a button or a light switch that we could just turn on in ourselves that goes, okay, you know what, we can do it without having
yeah,
to.
I feel like that was my experience. I was sitting in my kitchen and like a light switch. To be honest, I'd never wanted to open up my own salon until that moment. I enjoyed being a rental hairstylist because I already was my own boss. I already got to do those things. But it was time to level up.
Pride of ownership. And I
Yeah.
think as women in general, but as professional women, so many of us struggle with really understanding our value and understanding our worth. And so for you to be able to dig in and look inward and understand that there's more, like the rental station was great, but there is more, and you were worth more, and you had more to share, and you had more value to bring to others. Um,
Yeah.
as
I
the owner,
thank
you
you.
now get the opportunity to lift others rising tide
Yeah,
raises
and
all
I get to
boats,
set the
right?
tone. Yeah, I get to set the tone and provide a healthy environment for the girls that I work with, or at least that's, the goal. That's
Yeah.
the
And also the types of people that you want to work with yourself. I think that's
Yeah.
also important. We're all in the business of, service in some way. And so it's like when you get a client that's not so great, or maybe someone that doesn't appreciate, your offering, it's nice to be able to know your worth and what you bring to the table. And if those people aren't the best, then you know what? There's probably somebody else that can take care of them. I mean,
Yes, there is a hairdresser for everybody out there.
sure. I remember the first time I got to like fire a client or have someone just like transition out. It was like such a fucking power move to be like, you know what? Like, I don't, I don't need to be treated like this. Nobody
Yeah.
gets to talk to me like that. Um,
Yeah.
but it takes a long time, and I think all of our careers to get to a place where we can, really align ourselves with the clients that appreciate what we're doing. And I think that's something that takes us a minute to get there. And I wish we didn't have to take so many minutes sometimes because some of us get a little beat up sometimes. I mean, we all have.
Yeah,
It
I
is
mean,
interesting because when you are commission based or you are self-employed or what have you, there is this assumption that you need every single client. And certainly, you were working 7 days a week in your 20s. You were building your client base. You probably did need every single client. But we
yes.
do get to a point where there is the unfortunate opportunity where you have to sometimes say to somebody, I may not be your best match. And it's so empowering to let go of a client that is not it's not filling you, not bringing you joy.
Yeah.
And it is
Right.
it is always fascinating because they are shocked
Like,
You know,
that you wouldn't want to work with them. Um, but yeah,
it's true.
Emily, have you had that situation?
I have. I have. And I've only truly broken up with three clients in my 26 years. And that's not including clients that I have like moved along. Because breaking up to me is a little bit different than moving them along. So for me, when we don't have the vibe, I move them along and I will refer them to a hairdresser that I know that I think is a good fit. And I often will reach out to that hairdresser to let them know that I've referred them this client because at the end of the day, she just wants to get her hair done, you know? And
And it's a
maybe it's not
benefit to
me who
both of
does
them.
it.
It's a
Yeah.
benefit to all three of you.
Yeah, maybe it's not me who does it, but maybe I'll help you find the right person. So
here's
to
something.
sit, yeah, to sit in my chair, we often have a consultation ahead of time to see if we are a good match.
Here's something I love about Emily. Emily made a decision many years ago that she was not going to cut men's hair. She had some interesting situations with gentlemen, and she said, "You know what? I'm not doing this anymore." And I
Done,
think
done, across the board,
I
done.
love it
I
so much.
What
I
was
have
what
three
was the
male
straw?
clients.
What was the straw that broke that camel's back?
Well, for one, I don't make enough money cutting men's hair. It's my time. It's my time costs what it costs, and I don't think that it matches like a men's haircut. And I don't like doing it. And I don't like washing their hair, and I don't like any of it. So I have three male clients, and that is all.
That's
And
it.
one of them is my dad.
You can't
One of them
fire
is
your
my
dad.
retired gynecologist, Dick Hunter. That's
Yeah,
a story in itself. And another one is a kind man named Randy.
it's
And if
perfect.
Randy's listening to this podcast, he just found out not that long ago that I stopped cutting men's hair about 15 years ago. I've been cutting his hair my whole career.
Shout out Randy.
Yeah.
Randy's a nice guy.
Randy made the cut.
Randy made the cut,
I,
and
I
his
don't
awesome
I
wife, Deb.
I don't want to let this go without talking about some of your other dimensions because you grew up in a suburban house, suburban
Yes.
neighborhood, yet inside was a frickin' farm.
Oh,
Um,
I'm so excited that you guys asked me
I
about this.
I would like to discuss the 23 rabbits, 12 rats, one iguana, few cats, and four dogs
I
that
didn't know about the
all
iguana.
lived within
Mr.
your
Staley, he
suburban
was really a
house.
girl. Huh? Yes.
How did, like, what? I mean, what?
Well, for one, my mom is an animal lover. So I grew
Okay.
up with my mom being an animal lover. But yes, did you say 14? Did you say my 14 rats?
I had 12 rats written down. Was it 14? Because I feel like that's an aggressive animal lover. If you can have 12 rats, if you can have 14 rats,
How do you
like,
how do you even
I,
And I was
house that
gonna
many
say, can I
rats?
just say our house didn't smell growing up. My mom really kept it tidy, and we had like heavy routines on how we cleaned the cages every weekend, and it was something, I assisted my mom in all of this. It was fun. It was
and
like
you've
a
carried
hobby
that
farm.
skill set. You've carried that skill set forward into your adult life.
I
Yes.
Let's talk
have.
about your rescues.
Well, I have lived with a total of six rescue chihuahuas in my adult life, and right now I live with three. I have a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 8-year-old chihuahuas, Poppy, Lola, and Stella. And yeah,
And it's not uncommon to be on the streets of Novato and see Emily pulling a bag of dogs or, animals or, small children. If there's something that seems like it needs something, Emily will be there to provide.
yes,
Okay?
even the spider the other day when we were at a luncheon,
We were at
Samantha
a
and I were at a
luncheon.
luncheon, and
Yeah.
what could have been a scary situation for one.
Emily stood up and rehomed him. She put him right in the corner where he belonged. I
I
mean,
did.
there's
I grabbed the web.
There's never a dull moment. So Emily also has a teenage daughter, which for those of us going through it, that is a journey within itself. And I say it often, if we could make it through this time in life, we can make it through anything. 'Cause Stacy's on the other side of it, so we do know there is
I
hope
am. I
at the end
am.
of the tunnel. But I love what you are showing, Miss Lucia, about being a mom, being a woman, who has opened up a business and doing all these different things because, one of our guests, Christina, said many years ago, it's not what we say, but it's what we do, and they're watching us. And so, every day that you're getting up and doing what you're doing, I mean, they're all watching us.
It's so true because I remember watching my mom, and I know Lucy's watching. I know she's watching, and she thinks the salon is cool. So that
I mean,
makes me
which is
feel
saying a
special.
lot when you're 14 and you have a little badge of
Yeah.
coolness.
Right. Well, my mom was in college my entire adolescence. So she raised my brother and I with my dad and was a full-time college student getting her teaching credentials my entire childhood. So when I was heading into high school, she was heading into her first day of teaching kindergarten.
That's
Wow.
really cool.
Yeah, so whenever I think I cannot do something, I remember that my mom was a full-time college student with two kids.
And you were a little bit of a wild ass. So
And I was not easy. And I was definitely not boring. And I kept them on their toes. So, and always felt loved. So, if she can do it, I can do it too.
well, it's the things that what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, and I think there are some truths to those words combined. So, where would someone find you if they wanted to look into, getting a new look, getting maybe some longer locks? You are a specialist in extensions, so that's something that you could speak to. But how would they get a hold of you?
They could find me through my Instagram, Emily Perez Hairstylist, or through our website, Aldi Law Salon Novato. All of my stylists' contact information is on there, but that's where you'll find me and my contact information.
I
Where'd the
love it.
where'd the name of the salon come from?
Oh, I love the questions that you have been asking me, ladies, because I put so much thought into that. So, in wanting to create this salon, I wanted to honor my grandfather. And the naming of the salon, his name was Joe Giacchetta, and his salon was named Parkview. And Aldila is an Italian word type phrase that means beyond, a better place, over the rainbow. And it was a non morbid way of me naming it after my grandfather.
Mm.
So
And his
Love it.
it's
picture.
in his honor.
And
It's
his
in his
picture
honor.
is right on her, when you open up her cabinet, he is right there. So he is always there looking over
Yes.
us all.
I have a picture of him standing at his station. And I want to get back to the vibe in the salon because something I did want to say was the vibe in his salon was what I wanted in mine. And I feel like I've accomplished that.
Well, I think so
Amazing.
too. I've never been to his salon, but I can tell you, I've been to yours quite a few times, and
Oh, you both would have loved it. You
it
would
is
have loved it.
quite the place to be. Emily, you are one of our favorite people for a myriad of reasons, but I think the offering of, having the idea, making it come to life and doing it and living it is something that's so inspirational. And I know there is that one person out there that's sitting on the edge of her seat thinking, can I, should I, could I? And the answer we have to her is what? Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
you
Do
can.
it. Do it.
Do it.
What do you got to lose?
You got nothing
You
to lose.
know? What do you've got nothing to lose? You have to try, you
You
know?
have to try. That's the first step.
You
We hope
have
that
to try.
everybody this week gets out there this month, this year, and is inspired.